day, areas of dense morning fog. Slight chance of a thunderstorm. High 85. Winds east-southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance of rain 30%. For tonight, cloudy with showers and thunderstorms. Humid, low 73. Winds east-southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance of rain 50%. On Tuesday, showers early with scattered thunderstorms developing later in the day. Humid, high 82. Chance of rain 50%. Our week ahead. Traffic flow for our area.
The Weather Channel, bringing weather to life.
And huge lines of people attempt to seek shelter in the New Orleans Superdome. These are not the ones who could not manage to leave a city that could be flooded by the approaching hurricane. And good morning, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Kim Perez.
And I'm Nick Walker. The Weather Channel is in storm alert for the latest on a hurricane of historic proportions.
Let's go ahead and show you the latest advisory now just in from the National Hurricane Center. The Air Force hurricane hunters out there investigating found the pressure has come up to 917 millibars. The winds have come down to 150 miles per hour. But again, this is still a very strong Category 4 hurricane. It's also picked up in forward speed and made that turn towards the north now, moving north at 15 miles per hour.
The impacts from Katrina are going to be widespread, affecting not only the immediate coastal area, but also far inland. For travelers, this is going to be a concern for some time.
And Jen Carfagnan is here to talk about some of the other problems we might have. Hey, Jen, good morning.
Okay, good morning. We're going to watch the rain and the wind extend pretty far north. You've been talking about how far the tropical storm force winds extend, and it's hundreds of miles. I want to talk about the rain threat for folks on the roads as you travel throughout, not just today, but throughout midweek. Now, of course, the heaviest of rainfall will be in southeastern Louisiana, southern Mississippi, and southwestern Alabama. But we're going to continue to watch the threat of rain for travelers and for folks there just with your homes as we continue through today, moving north into northern Mississippi and northern parts of Alabama and into Tennessee, and then shifting into the Ohio Valley and eventually into the Northeast. We'll continue to track this and the threat for heavy rain and flooding, but we want to get continual coverage of the impacts as it makes landfall.
Yeah, all right, Jen, thanks.
Of course, we have crews throughout the area that will bear the brunt of Katrina's wrath.
And meteorologist Jeff Morrow is in Louisiana. He's in Mandeville on the northern edge of Lake Pontchartrain. Now, overnight, he updated us on the push by New Orleans to prepare for this very powerful hurricane.
Extremely powerful and extremely dangerous. Hurricane Katrina draws ever closer to the southeast Louisiana and southern Mississippi Gulf coastal areas. Potentially, this hurricane could be and probably will be catastrophic. A lot of wind damage, a lot of storm surge, which potentially could push Lake Pontchartrain over its levees and then spill into New Orleans. That is probably the greatest fear of the people of New Orleans at this hour. A lot of them chose to evacuate, not only when the evacuations were voluntary as we headed through the day Saturday, but then when they became mandatory during the day on Sunday. Some folks couldn't get out, and they are going to some shelters around the city, most notably the Louisiana Superdome, which started as a special needs shelter, but turned out to be an area that just about everybody wanted to head to try to get out of the way of this very, very dangerous Category 5 hurricane. Here on the north shore of Lake Pontchartrain, we feel like we're a bit more on the safe side of the system. We're going to pull back a little bit overnight, but we will be here to report as we head into the day Monday on the conditions here as Hurricane Katrina comes on shore. I'm Jeff Morrow in Mandeville, Louisiana.
And those live reports will start at 6 o'clock Eastern Time this morning. Let's show you the projected path where, again, making landfall. It's imminent right now. The northern eye wall coming into parts of southeastern Louisiana now. It should stay north on a track and then more northeasterly with time because of an upper level trough coming in from the west. And that's going to take it right through the Ohio Valley Tuesday. So you guys probably need the rainfall. We may get too much of a good thing. Be prepared for some flooding and, of course, some power outages along the path of this hurricane. Let's show you our radar now where you can see where the eye is and how it's moving up towards the north now. And again, some of that heavy rain coming in to New Orleans. Not reporting anymore at the airport, but around Grand Isle, which is about right in this area here, we've had a wind gust over 90 miles per hour. As you can see, there's that northern eye wall. And eventually, it will move over southeastern Louisiana back into the Gulf, and then a second landfall expected into Mississippi. So the worst of it is yet to come. You think it's bad now. It is going to get worse. Think of this as like an F3 tornado coming through your area. All right, and speaking of that, we do have the potential for tornadoes with some of these rain bands as well. So winds 150 miles per hour around the center, but hurricane force winds extend out over 100 miles from the center. Tropical storm force winds over 200 miles from the center. So again, a far-reaching storm. Of course, the very heavy rain falling already, as Jen talked about, Interstate 10 closed through into Louisiana today. Now, tornado watch in effect until noon. We may see more of these issued. Even farther north, maybe into Birmingham, Atlanta, there's a chance of isolated tornadoes as well today, and the wind should start to pick up for you guys. Now, by this evening, this is where it'll be. So you have plans to commute later today. Boy, it's going to be a rough one here in central Mississippi. Flooding, a huge concern as well. And there could be power outages, too, you'll be dealing with. So, again, be prepared maybe to lose power. Make sure you have a flashlight handy, a radio operated radio is what I'm trying to say. And be prepared for that. And again, you don't want to use candles because of the risk of fire. Now, folks in Mobile and northward, again, there is the potential there for power outages where you see the red. It's pretty likely. Outside that area, there is a slight chance. One thing we know for sure, there will be flooding with this system. Again, Katrina weakening, but still very dangerous. Imminent landfall. It's here. Impacts will be spreading north ahead of the center. Nick?
Of course, time is running out to get out of Katrina's way, and all-night traffic has inched away from New Orleans. With the storm spinning closer to landfall, roads are closing. We'll update you coming up.
The Kia Amante. Rich leather. 9-speaker CD sound system. Power everything. Spacious and comfortable. With 8 standard airbags and all backed by a 10-year warranty program. The Kia Amante Premium Sedan. It's time for everyone to start living big.
A cool head. And a new copier. $2,500.
Dinosaur.
Dedication.
And a coffee maker. $69.
A sense of humor.
And a mop. $17. Having what it takes to run a business? Priceless. To see what the MasterCard Business Card can do for your business, visit our website.
Katrina bears down on the Mississippi Delta. Stay with us for the latest in-depth analysis, live reports from the field, weather experts, meteorologists, and hurricane hunters telling you what's happening, why it's happening, and what's next. The Weather Channel, Hurricane Central. The Weather Channel, Hurricane Central. Coming up, the latest on Katrina. But now, you're local on the 8s.
Currently, the temperature is 71 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Our local Doppler radar. today. Areas of dense morning fog. Slight chance of a thunderstorm. High 85. Winds east-southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance of rain 30%. For tonight, cloudy with showers and thunderstorms. Humid, low 73. Winds east-southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance of rain 50%. On Tuesday, rain showers in the morning with scattered thunderstorms arriving in the afternoon. Humid, high 82. Chance of rain 50%. The week ahead. Traffic flow for our area.
Let's go ahead and give you the very latest on Hurricane Katrina. The tornado watch in effect for New Orleans until noon today. We have a tornado warning in effect for Harrison County here in Mississippi, and it looks like it does include or real close to the Biloxi area. So you guys anywhere between Slidell and Biloxi need to take cover now. Interior room, lowest level of your home, and of course stay away from the windows.
Tornadoes often do occur from landfalling hurricanes. You're likely to hear us talk about tornado warnings throughout the morning hours. From Louisiana to Florida, coastal residents are bracing for the fury of Hurricane Katrina.
And ABC's Darren Lynn is in Mobile, Alabama. He joins us now. And Darren, what effects are you seeing right now from the storm?
We're not seeing much here in Mobile, Alabama right now. We're about 4 miles from Mobile Bay. The rain has started to come down, not very hard. The winds, barely any right now. But as you've been mentioning, Katrina has been downgraded to a Category 4. Wind speed sustained at 155 miles an hour. She's been a Category 5 much of her time in the Gulf, and believe me, folks are taking her seriously.
The mass exodus continues, bumper-to-bumper traffic. More than 1 million people fleeing the Gulf Coast, clogging the highways in all directions. In New Orleans, there's a mandatory evacuation.
You have an obligation to yourself and your family to haul ass and get out of here. And I'm telling you to get out now.
Hurricane Katrina is barreling towards what seems like its bullseye, New Orleans. The Category 5 hurricane is packing sustained winds of 160 miles per hour with wind gusts over 200 miles an hour.
We can pray very hard that the intensity will weaken.
Nearly 100,000 people in New Orleans remain in shelters because they're either too poor, too sick, or too elderly to leave.
This is my first time in a shelter, actually, you know what I'm saying? Because I ain't never been in one this serious before.
The Superdome has been converted into a shelter of last resort.
We are facing a storm that most of us have feared.
The National Hurricane Center says New Orleans may never be the same again if Katrina makes a direct strike as a Category 5.
We're about 120 miles east of New Orleans here in Mobile, Alabama. And if Katrina lands as a Category 4 in New Orleans, we're expected here 120 miles away to have wind speeds between 75 and 100 miles an hour, storm surges possibly as high as 15 feet, and almost 15 inches of rain are expected. I'm Darren Lynn reporting live for the Weather Channel. Now back to you.
All right, thanks, Darren.
As Darren mentioned, it's widespread effects of hurricane force winds. As a matter of fact, we're already seeing hurricane force wind gusts in the New Orleans area, despite the fact that the eye wall is still over an hour away.
That's right. And you know, the airport closed early yesterday, Jen. You anticipate any other closures outside of the Gulf Coast today?
The airport to watch, I think, would be Jackson, Mississippi. The potential for closures as the track of Katrina continues to take it northward. We will see tropical storm and potentially hurricane force winds in that region. So let's show you which airports we do have closed right now. Of course, travel is impossible into New Orleans. It's unneeded. It's unnecessary. New Orleans International is closed. The airport there, the Gulfport Biloxi Airport is closed, and the Mobile Airport is closed as well. Both airports actually in the Mobile area. Now, Jackson, Mississippi today, keeping tabs on that. Birmingham, watching for delays and cancellations likely. And then later today into tonight, Nashville experiencing lengthy delays and the potential for some cancellations as well. And of course, the airlines have to get their planes in the right places, and none of them are in the New Orleans area. so making sure that they can get their planes where they need to be to get folks out. Let's show you what we have going on the roads right now. I want to focus on travel, and of course we've been talking about the widespread impacts to travel from this storm. And in fact, all along Interstate 10, where we're seeing showers continuing to move on in, even to the east of Mobile. It is going to be difficult for travel here today. And right along the coast here, we are looking at potential of flooding here all along the coast. This is areas affected by Ivan and then by Dennis just a month earlier. And now we're looking at the potential for flooding here. And there have been some mandatory evacuations in some of the low-lying areas around Cape San Blas and St. George Island. So watching the rain come down, New Orleans, the winds gusting here to hurricane force and continuing to intensify. Watching the extent of the rain now up to Jackson, with some rain being reported in the observation. The forecast for today, we're going to continue to watch the corridor of rain head northward. Interstates 55 and 65 and in between is what we will continue to watch for the potential of difficult travel. In some cases, flooding will be likely here, especially in southwestern parts of Alabama, and then I-65 right up through the Nashville area. Northeast, I'll quickly tell you that we will have some showers here today as well. Kim and Nick.
Heavy rain, strong winds. Louisiana already seeing some of the effects of Katrina.
Waves are running high and wind is whipping them on the waterways surrounding New Orleans ahead of the impact this powerful storm will have on weather for the week to come.
This program was brought to you by Verizon Wireless. We never stop working for you.
Lots of Wi-Fi users work in coffee shops, which aren't always the best places to work. Wouldn't it be great to work wherever you wanted instead of only in hotspots? Now you can with Verizon Wireless Broadband Access. Wi-Fi only works in limited locations, while Broadband Access is the nation's largest, fastest, wide-area wireless broadband network and is expanding coast to coast. Now get unlimited access at a great price, so you won't get stuck in a not-so-hot spot. Verizon Wireless, we never stop working for you.
Bye.
Bye. See you tonight.
Love you.
Love you too. Okay, that's my foot.
I say from Agent LaDonna Young Hansen, this is a true story. We didn't know what kind of claim it was, because was it going to be an auto claim or a homeowner's claim? Having one agent for all your insurance needs has its advantages.
And she handled all the paperwork?
In minutes.
She made the process totally painless.
Well, not totally. I mean,
okay.
Nobody takes care of you like State Farm. Trust us with all your insurance needs, and we'll save you some money, too. Call an agent today.
Like a good neighbor.
State Farm is there.
Hurricane Katrina bears down on the Mississippi Delta. We've got meteorologists live from the scene.
There are some vicious squalls rotating around the outer bands here, and they've even prompted some tornado warnings.
Weather experts and hurricane hunters telling you what's happening, why it's happening, and what's next.
It's going to be rough wherever this system comes in.
Find the latest travel delays, updated maps, and projected paths on weather.com. In-depth 24/7 coverage and analysis from the Weather Channel. Hurricane Central.
Comcast high-speed internet. With 6 megs of speed, DSL can't match. And features DSL just doesn't have. If you're settling for DSL, you're not just getting less, you're getting left behind. No wonder more people choose Comcast. Call now for this great offer.
Comcast Newsmakers. The issues affecting you. Community leaders, state lawmakers, decision makers, interviews making a difference for you. Important topics, national and local. Comcast Newsmakers, serving your community and the Mid-Atlantic region. Comcast Newsmakers, 24 and 54 minutes past the hour on CNN Headline News.
We're going to update you on Hurricane Katrina. Still a Category 4 hurricane, winds 150 miles per hour around the center. A tornado watch in effect. New Orleans, Gulfport, Biloxi, Mobile, all in this watch until noon today. We do have a tornado warning up for folks in Harrison County here in Mississippi. That means there is a tornado, actually I think on Doppler. It's Doppler indicated. Take cover now. Interior room, lowest level of your home, and of course stay away from the windows.
We'll keep you updated, of course, on the immediate effects of Katrina, but also we want to talk about the long-term effects because over the next several days, we're going to see flooding rain well toward the north. Let's take a look at their 7-day forecast here in the Business Planner. And as we do, you'll see all of this green on the map throughout the eastern United States, from the deep south all the way up into the Ohio Valley, the eastern Great Lakes, and northward too. We're talking about an area from the Gulf Coast to the Tennessee Valley that could get 5 to 10 inches of rainfall. Especially near the Appalachians, we're going to find very heavy rainfall amounts, so some places might even see as much as 15 inches of rainfall from Katrina as it makes its way northward. If you compare this to Hurricane Camille, which we have been doing here for the last several days, you will notice and remember that Camille produced torrential rainfall amounts throughout many areas northward, and that was responsible for a large loss of life. As a matter of fact, the statistics say that 59% of the impacts, the deaths that occur from hurricanes like this occur from inland flooding. So we'll be watching for that threat on into Tuesday and even into Wednesday too, northward, where we're going to find even more rainfall. Contrast that with the sunshine toward the west, with the exception being the Pacific Northwest. We will see a few showers there, but sunshine breaking out into Wednesday by the time we get into midweek. A few scattered thunderstorms here around places like Minneapolis, over toward Milwaukee later in the day, but the heavy rain here will be from Indiana and the Ohio Valley eastward and northward. 4 to 8 inches of rain could fall in the Ohio Valley to the eastern Great Lakes Tuesday and on into Wednesday, with a few more scattered thunderstorms southward. Thursday looking much better throughout much of the country, throughout the mid-Atlantic, throughout the south, and even in areas of the northeast, despite the fact that we'll continue to see at least a chance of a few showers there, but sunshine from the Midwest back toward the western United States. Friday looks equally as dry. Maybe a chance of an isolated thunderstorm here around the Intermountain West and some of the central Rockies. Even Denver could pick up some of that. But places like Omaha, Minneapolis, Chicago, Indianapolis, and southward too, we're going to find ourselves with pretty much sunshine as the rule. A few isolated thunderstorms there along the Gulf Coast and on into Saturday. But the East Coast looking much better by the time we get toward the weekend. So we can at least breathe that sigh of relief that we're going to have a weekend that's going to be fairly rain-free throughout much of the United States, and especially areas that are going to be flood-prone for the next few days, where we really need that drier weather, give the rivers a chance to recede, give a chance for the cleanup efforts to get going. On into Sunday, the sunshine will continue through much of the nation, the exceptions being southward into Florida, where we could see a few scattered thunderstorms, and into the upper left-hand corner of the nation, showers around the Seattle area, down toward Portland, and eastward too, on through the Idaho Panhandle and into western Montana. That's the way the precipitation's shaping up. Let's check out the temperature story now, Kim.
And Nick, of course, we're going to talk about the path of Hurricane Katrina and what it means for temperatures. And it's going to mean some cooler conditions. But of course, it's going to be raining, so it's not like you can get out and enjoy these temperatures in the 70s. 80s for the south, 70s in the Ohio Valley. But the 90s continue here into the Central Plains. It's going to be hot. It's going to be sticky here. And back to the really hot temperatures here in the southwest, with temperatures up around 110 here in the Phoenix area. We'll start to modify those temperatures, though, as we continue to move Katrina out of the way. Temperatures in the 70s, Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, Cleveland. That'll stick with us into Thursday. But notice the 90s here along the Gulf Coast. If you have evacuated and you're going to be coming back home, probably from New Orleans over towards Biloxi, these areas probably won't have power for quite a while. So you might want to stay where you are, because we're talking about temperatures in the 90s. I think it's going to be very hot, very humid, very uncomfortable for you folks heading back. So stay in that nice hotel, you know, with the air conditioning. We'll see the 70s here in Minneapolis, up towards Chicago, back in the 80s on Saturday, while Sunday, folks enjoying Labor Day weekend in the 70s here into parts of Boston.
Well, landfall is imminent from Katrina along the Louisiana and Mississippi coastlines. We'll follow its progress.
Yes, we've got the very latest on its position and impacts next.
Today, you're a super painter with the Wagner Quick Touch Power Roller. One touch, and you control a continuous flow of paint. The innovative Power Roller. One of the ways Wagner gives you more power, because there's always something that needs painting. Wagner. Paint fast. Paint smart.
The Wagner Quick Touch Power Roller. Professional results fast.
Hey, Mr. Opportunity here. Remember me? Now, I may not be as good looking as that Accord LX, but you're really going to like what I have to say. It's Honda clearance time. Now, that means choose a beautiful coupe or sedan of your choice for a deal that'll make your head spin. Look, the final decision is yours. I'm just trying to point you in the right direction. The 2005 Honda clearance. Now you can lease an Accord LX for $199 a month for well-qualified customers at where else? Your Honda dealer. I'm Mr. Opportunity. I'm back. I'm still knocking.
With any leak, it's the water you don't see that can cause mold, rot, and damage to the value of your home, unless you call the cleanup experts at 1-800-SERVPRO, like it never even happened.
Once, a great night's sleep was easy to catch. But now, your restless mind keeps chasing sleep away.
I've got to pay those bills. Did I call the electrician?
Introducing Lunesta, a sleep aid that can give you and your restless mind the sleep you need. Lunesta helps most people sleep all through the night and works quickly, so take it right before bed. Lunesta is non-narcotic and approved for long-term use. Of course, do not use sleep medicines for extended periods without first talking to your doctor. Be sure you have at least 8 hours to devote to sleep before becoming active. Until you know how you'll react to Lunesta, you should not drive or operate machinery. Avoid taking Lunesta with alcohol. All sleep medicines carry some risk of dependency. Side effects may include unpleasant taste, headache, drowsiness, and dizziness. Ready to catch a great night's sleep? Just climb into bed and leave the rest to Lunesta.
Storm alert continues here on the Weather Channel as we follow the progress of Hurricane Katrina. It is making its way toward the Louisiana shoreline as a strong Category 4 hurricane with winds in the center of 150 miles an hour. Moving toward the north at about 15 miles an hour, the central pressure at 917 millibars. Landfall is imminent, about an hour or two away from New Orleans.
And let's go ahead and show you that radar where we have a tornado watch still in effect. What the red is indicating here. Boothville here, actually getting some of the heaviest stuff right now. Grand Isle off to the west have had wind gusts over 90 miles per hour. Lakefront, by the way, up around New Orleans, we've had a gust over 85 miles per hour.
Our travel analyst Jen Carfagno has been following the travel impacts, and they are many from Hurricane Katrina.
I took a look at the flash flood guidance to see how much rain we could get to cause flooding in some of the areas where Katrina will be going. And so as we continue to look at deteriorating weather in Jackson, Birmingham, Atlanta, from Birmingham to Atlanta, anywhere from 2.5 to 3.5 inches of rain per hour will cause flooding.
All right, thanks. We'll be right back with more on Katrina.
I don't send postcards anymore. I send stories, adventures, pictures, and videos I make on my laptop from Shanghai, Bangkok, Tibet. Then I post them online from anywhere in the world. So my friends back home can take this trip too.
Start something worldly. Start anything you like with a world of software and devices that run on Windows.
Lots of Wi-Fi users work in coffee shops, which aren't always the best places to work. Wouldn't it be great to work wherever you wanted instead of only in hotspots? Now you can with Verizon Wireless Broadband Access. Wi-Fi only works in limited locations, while Broadband Access is the nation's largest, fastest, wide-area wireless broadband network and is expanding coast to coast. Now get unlimited access at a great price, so you won't get stuck in a not-so-hot spot. Verizon Wireless, we never stop working for you.
Katrina bears down on the Mississippi Delta. Stay with us for the latest in-depth analysis, live reports from the field, weather experts, meteorologists, and hurricane hunters telling you what's happening, why it's happening, and what's next. The Weather Channel, Hurricane Central. The Weather Channel, Hurricane Central. Coming up, the latest on Katrina. But now, you're local on the 8s.
Currently in our area, 71 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Our local Doppler radar. today. Areas of dense morning fog. Slight chance of a thunderstorm. High 85. Winds east-southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance of rain 30%. For tonight, cloudy with showers and thunderstorms. Humid, low 73. Winds east-southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance of rain 50%. On Tuesday, rain showers in the morning with scattered thunderstorms arriving in the afternoon. Humid, high 82. Chance of rain 50%. Here's our 7-day outlook. Traffic flow for our area.
Waves of water are already washing over parking lots in the greater New Orleans area. Some of the first signs of the approach of very powerful Hurricane Katrina.
And the heavy rain and the potential power outages will cause impacts to travel far inland. Find out how far.
And deep into the night, cars crept away from the coast. The time to head to safety is shrinking. The storm's landfall is getting ever closer. Good morning, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Kim Perez.
And I'm Nick Walker. We are in storm alert with the latest on a potentially devastating hurricane whose effects could reach a large part of the eastern United States.
And the latest advisory has winds of 150 miles per hour around that center. Now, since yesterday, of course, this has weakened some, but it's still a Category 4 hurricane capable of causing extreme damage. It is moving north at 15. The forward speed has picked up a little bit as anticipated, and now it's on a more northerly track. The pressure has come up to 917 millibars, but to keep it in perspective, Andrew's pressure was 922 as it came ashore here in South Florida. The projected path takes it towards the north, making landfall, here in the next hour or so, and then moves it northward and then more northeastward with time in advance of an approaching trough in the upper levels of the atmosphere. And that's going to mean power outages, maybe as far north as into Tennessee, and heavy rain into the Ohio Valley.
Well, Jeff Morrow has been covering the approach of Katrina in New Orleans. He's now moved to Covington on the north side of Lake Pontchartrain. Jeff, what are you seeing right now?
All right, guys. Yeah, we just got up a little while ago to start to set up for our live shots here. What we're looking at is a lot of wind starting to come around to the northeast and really starting to blow fairly hard. The power is out, at least at our hotel, and we're seeing a lot of transformers, flashes on the horizon. So indication that we're getting a lot of, different transformers blowing out. We're getting some pretty good gusts of wind here right now, and it's going to be interesting trying to set things up. Like nobody out on the roadways at all at the present time. Let's get back to you guys.
And Jeff, of course, obviously you need to be in a safe place and stay in a safe place. Often we have to talk to you on the phone like we're doing right now as a result of gusty winds that could blow equipment around. Do you feel like you are in a safe place where you'll be able to broadcast for a little while?
Yeah, I think so. We pre-scouted this last night. We're actually in a little bit of a shopping area, and I think we'll be able to shelter everybody fairly well here. This is a pretty substantial structure, but still there's enough around here that you got to be real careful. Debris is going to start to fly into the air, I'm sure, within the next few hours, which could really cause some major problems. So we only expect to go downhill here, weather-wise, probably for the next 3, 4, 5 hours until we can get the eye past us.
Yeah, and we do hope you'll stay safe. Jeff Morrow reporting live from Covington, Louisiana this morning.
All right, now it's time to take a look at some travel conditions. Jen Carfagna, I believe, is joining us now to talk about some airport problems.
Airport problems, no doubt, will be problems here for the next 24 to 48 hours.
Just want to run down the list of airport closures today. We're, of course, going to have delays and cancellations at other airports, but there are a number of airports that are closed, and certainly this list could be expanded to some of the other regional airports farther north as Katrina continues continues to move inland and then northward. New Orleans, it is closed. There is no reopen time set. The Gulfport Biloxi Airport is closed at least until tomorrow morning. Mobile, both airports there closed and no reopen time. And at the Valparaiso Airport in Florida, it is closed until tomorrow morning. I'll have more on your travel conditions both at the airports as well as on the roads. That's coming up in about 10 minutes. Right now, Kim has more on Katrina.
And Jen, we'll start with the bottom line first of all, because I know a lot of you have tuned in and said, you know what, it's weakening. Maybe it's not going to be as bad, but it is still a very intense hurricane, a Category 4 on the Saffir-Simpson scale, and of course this is capable of producing extreme damage, and of course the chance for tornadoes and storm surge is going to be pretty impressive here on that east side. Landfall is imminent here in southeastern Louisiana. Impacts, again, as we've been talking about, you'll feel them farther north in the next couple of days into the Ohio Valley even, and there could be power outages all the way up into Tennessee. Here it is on radar. Notice the track now making that northerly turn now, and there's Venice, and we've had reports over here in Boothville of sustained winds over 50 miles per hour. New Orleans at Lakefront, we had a wind gust over 90 miles per hour already. And of course, conditions going down rapidly in this area. And as Jeff talked about, power outages already across the region. Now, our satellite showing the west side not as impressive anymore. Some dry air trying to come in, but still, again, a Category 4 hurricane with a pressure of 917 millibars. And we are going to see structural damage with this. Here's the greatest threat for it here in the red. And then where you see the light yellow, that's indicating where we see some structural damage, as this will maintain a hurricane strength even inland. And hurricane force winds extending out over 100 miles from this, so not feeling the impacts just at the coast. Even tropical storm winds over 200 miles from the center. There's that tornado watch in effect. Again, with any landfalling system, we watch out for this threat. Watch out in Birmingham, maybe in Atlanta later on. Nick?
Harrison County under a tornado warning at this hour. We'll continue to follow the progress of Katrina as it makes landfall. Tornado warnings and tornadoes often a byproduct of landfalling hurricanes, especially those this powerful. You need to take shelter immediately around Harrison County this morning. We'll have more on Katrina as Storm Alert continues on the Weather Channel.
This program was brought to you by Office Depot, taking care of business.
This year, count on Office Depot for back-to-school supplies. For every school supply purchase, Office Depot will give 5% back to your child's local school. 5% teachers can use for the supplies they need. Office Depot. Taking care of business.
Maria Bergman's Nature Valley. Lost Horse Creek, Bitterroot Range, Montana. Where's yours? 100% natural, whole grains, delicious. Nature Valley granola bars, the energy bar nature intended.
The Kia Amante. Rich leather, 9-speaker CD sound system, power everything. Spacious and comfortable. With 8 standard airbags and all backed by a 10-year warranty program. The Kia Amante Premium Sedan. It's time for everyone to start living big.
Katrina bears down on the Mississippi Delta. Stay with us for the latest in-depth analysis, live reports from the field, weather experts, meteorologists, and hurricane hunters telling you what's happening, why it's happening, and what's next. The Weather Channel, Hurricane Central. The Weather Channel, Hurricane Central. Coming up, the latest on Katrina. But now, your local on the 8s.
Currently, the temperature is 71 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Here's our local Doppler radar. today, areas of dense morning fog. Slight chance of a thunderstorm. High 85. Winds east-southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance of rain 30%. For tonight, cloudy with showers and thunderstorms. Humid, low 73. Winds east-southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance of rain 50%. On Tuesday, rain showers in the morning with scattered thunderstorms arriving in the afternoon. Humid, high 82. Chance of rain 50%. Our 7-day outlook. Traffic flow for our area.
Here's the very latest on Hurricane Katrina, still a Category 4 hurricane, a very, very powerful hurricane. Tornado watch in effect where you see the red, that's an outline tornado watch. And of course, with any landfalling system, we have to be concerned with this. We have tornado warnings up now in Hancock County in Mississippi as well as Harrison County, where you see the red filled in. That does include, looks like Biloxi and Gulfport this morning. As a matter of fact, we have Jim Cantori on the telephone here in Gulfport.
That's right. As storm alert coverage continues here on the Weather Channel, Jim Cantori, one of the many folks we have out covering this storm as Katrina approaches along the Mississippi coast. Right. He joins us now on the phone from Gulfport. And Jim, what are you seeing right now?
Well, Tim and Nick, of course, it's still dark outside, and I guess the good thing is we have lights out there, so people have power. It appears as I kind of look off the distance. A lot of the big, tall water oaks that are standing are still standing, so that's good. But again, we have not gotten into even a quarter of this thing yet. So, you know, we got a long way to go. Heavy rain, definitely prepare on losing power this morning. And of course, those tornado warnings don't help either. It just leaves everybody uneasy. But you can hear the wind just kind of swirling through, and even around this building here. We're at the Armed Forces retirement home here in Gulfport, Mississippi. And this place is really, really built well, so we felt pretty comfortable, even though we're only a half mile from the beach. You know, as long as we can, we're going to try and give you some shots this morning and show you this thing coming in. But certainly, we got to deal with safety issues, and you know, if the winds are too strong, you can't even broadcast anyway. So we'll keep you posted here. So far, so good. But obviously, we have a long way to go here on the Mississippi Gulf Coast. Back to you.
All right, Jim Cantori, thank you very much, reporting from Gulfport. Folks there, remember, of course, Hurricane Camille, and hopefully the memory's still fresh enough that they're hunkered down to safety.
That's right, and Jen Carfagnan is joining us now to talk about travel conditions. And you know, Jen, I'm sure once this is all over with, folks are going to get together and talk about some very interesting travel stories they've had with this hurricane.
It's going to be amazing, I think, what folks went to evacuate and to get to someplace safe. There's a couple in New Orleans that paid a cab driver $1,000 to drive them to the Atlanta airport so that they could get out to where they needed to be. So there's certainly going to be stories like this. Folks have done their best to get out of town and to get to where they need to go to be safe. And now this morning, there is no travel in and around southeastern Louisiana and southern Mississippi and even southwestern Alabama. I want to talk about here travel conditions at the airports, and we'll get to the roads as well. Of course, a number of airports closed, New Orleans International and the lakefront as well, Gulfport, Biloxi Airport and the Mobile Airport, both airports in the region. Now, as we head through tonight, Louisville, we're going to expect some delays, and we may see a few cancellations late tonight into tomorrow. That's when we watch conditions go downhill there. Memphis, it's throughout today. You could see possibly delays and cancellations. The winds will be gusty. You will see rain bands here. And same story in Atlanta. Best advice in all of these airports is to fly early today. Get on that early flight, get in or out of town so that you don't have to deal with the weather. Let's talk about the roads out there as well. And folks, yesterday here trying to evacuate. These are scenes on the interstates heading towards Baton Rouge. Just a sea, just a river of headlights here, and you can see traffic was not moving very quickly at times. There were times when traffic did get going, and I think this is a good sign that we saw so much out there with folks on the roads. The cars were out there. Let's talk about what we have in the forecast. I want to show you our forecast. Of course, flooding is going to be a concern, and we talked about the tornado warnings, but we also have a flash flood warning for the New Orleans area. Nobody's out there driving, so I'm not concerned about people on the roads as of yet, but it's the days to come where we are still going to be dealing with water on the roads in this area. I-55 today through the afternoon, watching for the rain to continue to move northward, and already have seen some reports of rain around Jackson. And we're going to see the rain eventually move into Tennessee. And for folks heading on Interstate 40 here into North Carolina, we are going to continue to watch the rain bands in parts of Tennessee. Now we have the latest on, I believe, the weekend forecast.
Jen, thank you very much. We're continuing to monitor, of course, the progress of Katrina. And we have Mike Seidel reporting now.
Yeah, Mike's joining us from Mobile, Alabama. Good morning, Mike. Do you still have power where you are? I know Jim said they have power over in Gulfport.
Yes, we do still have power here. Looking outside, the power is on everywhere. Of course, we're just barely into the fringe effects of Hurricane Katrina. By the way, we just heard there's a tornado warning now for Baldwin County. That's one of 2 counties along coastal Alabama. That's till 5:15. And all of Mobile County is under a flash flood warning until 8 o'clock this morning. So we've got some weather issues in the short term, and in the long term, more rain, stronger winds, and we probably will have some power outages.
All right, thanks, Mike, and we're going to be checking back with you, hopefully getting a live shot coming up. We'll be right back.
Keep it right here for more on Katrina.
This program was brought to you by Verizon Wireless. We never stop working for you.
Lots of Wi-Fi users work in coffee shops, which aren't always the best places to work. Wouldn't it be great to work wherever you wanted instead of only in hotspots? Now you can with Verizon Wireless Broadband Access. Wi-Fi only works in limited locations, while Broadband Access is the nation's largest, fastest, wide-area wireless broadband network and is expanding coast to coast. Now get unlimited access at a great price, so you won't get stuck in a not-so-hot spot. Verizon Wireless, we never stop working for you.
Take a half pound of beef, pile on mushrooms and Swiss cheese. Now that's something to yodel about. Ruby Tuesday's Alpine Swiss Burger. One of 36 famous burgers only at Ruby Tuesday. So good, it's guaranteed.
Try our to-go curbside. Just call ahead and we'll deliver your meal to your car.
Nobody knows this neighborhood better than Wendy Owens of Prudential Real Estate. Wendy's great with technology, and she's the best there is at bringing buyers and sellers together.
I've agreed to an early closing.
Professionals like Wendy Owens are why you choose Prudential Real Estate.
Buying or selling a home? Call your local Prudential Real Estate office today.
Hurricane Katrina bears down on the Mississippi Delta. We've got meteorologists live from the scene.
There are some vicious squalls rotating around the outer bands here, and they've even prompted some tornado warnings.
Weather experts and hurricane hunters telling you what's happening, why it's happening, and what's next.
It's going to be rough wherever this system comes in.
Find the latest travel delays, updated maps, and projected paths on weather.com. In-depth 24/7 coverage and analysis from the Weather Channel. Hurricane Central.
Now, you never have to miss your favorite TV shows. Introducing Digital Video Recorder from Comcast Digital Cable. Easily record your favorite shows at the touch of a button without tapes or timers and play them when you're ready. You can even pause and rewind live TV and record HD programming. Better yet, there's no new equipment to buy. Digital Video Recorder, now available from Comcast Digital Cable. Call now.
Hi, I'm John Ratzenberger. I'm hosting the CVS Newport Under the Stars to benefit the kids' programs at Joslin Diabetes Center. My friends here don't look like they have a disease, but they do. And as 18 million Americans can tell you, living with diabetes is not easy. I know, it's affected my family too. Joslin's innovative care helps people with diabetes live healthier lives, and their research is bringing us closer to a cure. Won't you help us?
Our coverage of Hurricane Katrina, a very powerful Category 4 hurricane, continues as the Weather Channel is in storm alert this morning.
And our hurricane expert, Dr. Steve Lyons, joins us now to give us the very latest information. Good morning, Steve.
Good morning, Kim. And the chips are down now. The eye wall, the northern eye wall of the circulation is making landfall on the southeastern Louisiana coastline this morning. Now the circulation has weakened a little bit down to Category 4, but this is still a very powerful and dangerous hurricane. The pressure's still well below what Hurricane Andrew was when it made landfall, winds 150 miles per hour. Now let's look at what's going to happen here over the next several hours. First of all, there's the circulation, and it looks a little bit ragged on satellite imagery here, but don't let your guard down. This is the time when all the weather is going to start changing very, very rapidly. We just got a wind gust to 74 miles per hour in New Orleans, so expect the power to start to go out there. Down here in Grand Isle, Louisiana, the winds are really strengthening rather rapidly there. Now what's going to happen here, here's the radar imagery. You can see there's the eye wall right in here, coming right near Venice, Louisiana. The eye is still offshore. It's going to continue to the north. It looks like it's going to move just to the east of New Orleans, Louisiana. That means the northerly winds near the eye wall in about 5 or 6 hours will be right over Lake Pontchartrain, pushing the water to the south toward New Orleans. We'll have to see what happens there. In the meantime, the right quadrant of the circulation is heading toward Biloxi, Mississippi, and that's going to get there in about 6 or 7 hours. So the circulation is very intense. The chips are down now, and very strong winds are starting to pile up. The water's going to be rising very quickly here, so if you're in a low-lying area, now's the time to go to higher ground immediately. In the meantime, very heavy rain in here, and mixed in there are some tornado warnings. So watch out for the possibility for tornadoes the next 12 hours or so. Locally, 16 to 22 feet in this area, that's the possibility for water rise. Lower as you go to the east, away from that strong wind core, but high waves are out in this area, so watch out for deadly rip currents and extremely high waves, beach erosion along the coastline, the highest wave action being in Alabama and extreme western Florida panhandle. That's going to persist through late this afternoon. The greatest potential impact for structure damage from this, southeastern Louisiana up into southern Mississippi over the next 6 to 12 hours. Power outages, trees down, signs down, roofs blown off. That's quite a possibility, especially for poorly built structures. Mobile homes could be severely damaged or destroyed if they're out in the middle of this core of strong winds that comes on shore. So this is the time to really hunker down. If you're in a mobile home, you need to seek safer shelter immediately. Now, not only that, we're going to see the widespread power outages. A lot of the places already are seeing it with the transformers blowing out. That's going to spread inland. So New Orleans, Biloxi, Mississippi, Gulfport, Mobile, Alabama, widespread power outages are likely through this evening. So we're going to continue to monitor this situation, but it looks like we're seeing this Category 4 landfalling now, and it's going to get very much worse very quickly. The track takes it basically to the north through Mississippi and then on to the northeast, weakening as it does so, but this is a strong system, and it's going to be accelerating off to the northeast a little bit, so it's going to be dragging strong winds in with it. Just one mention here, we do have a new tropical depression out in the Atlantic moving to the northwest at 14. It'll miss the Antilles, but there's another low pressure system behind it we're going to be monitoring as well. So after this system, we've got 2 others to watch out for. Back to you in the studio.
All right, thank you. Dr. Steve Lyons, our hurricane expert, with an update on Katrina. And of course, as Steve mentioned, the eye still well offshore, but even so, we've already seen hurricane force wind gusts even in some of the inland areas.
As a matter of fact, Grand Isle had a wind gust of 102 miles per hour. Biloxi 51, Gulfport a gust of 48, and Lakefront here in New Orleans a wind gust over to hurricane force strength up to 74, 75 miles per hour. And we'll continue to give you the live coverage here of Hurricane Katrina with live reports coming up here at the top of the hour. And just a reminder, there is a tornado watch in effect until noon. This does include New Orleans and a couple of tornado warnings over here in Mobile, Alabama. You folks should be seeking shelter immediately.
We'll keep you updated on Katrina with more, of course, from the field with live reports. That's coming up all morning long here on the Weather Channel as we continue in Storm Alert.
Stick around. Your local on the 8th is coming up, then more on Hurricane Katrina. Stick around.
Somewhere between where you are and where you're going, there's a Super 8. See you along the way.
Super 8. See you along the way. This Golf Index was brought to you by Kelly Services.
Tank of gas, $36. Being there when he changes his mind about joining the circus, priceless. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard.
This is a great house.
Yeah? Excuse me. You should see the bathroom.
I was upside down. Me too.
I'm State Farm Agent Edmund Nelson, and this is a true story.
Mommy broke the car.
Thankfully, only the car broke. They were buckled in right.
We've shown her how at a State Farm Child Safety Day.
Saved their lives.
By educating parents, conducting research, and helping to pass stronger safety laws, we've doubled the proper use of safety restraints and saved the lives of kids.
Like mine.
Like a good neighbor?
State Farm is there.
We're continuing to watch not only Katrina, but weather elsewhere around the nation at this hour.
And let's go ahead and show you the forecast for today.
Lots of sunshine here from Minneapolis into Chicago. We will see lots of sunshine toward the west, too, but into the north. It's going to be some scattered thunderstorms. And out of this, we might even see some heavy rain this afternoon around Boston, New York City, Philadelphia, a few isolated thunderstorms. But the real impact is going to be here southward with the rain and with the wind.
And in the west, we'll see sunshine here in the southwest, while the northwest will see some storms coming into Seattle and Portland.
Jen Carfagno, our travel analyst, keeping a close eye on the effects of Katrina and elsewhere this morning.
And Jen, again, the eastern side of that eye wall, we're talking about some pretty big waves coming into Pensacola Beach.
In Pensacola, the wind there now gusting to about 30 miles an hour. Certainly could feel tropical storm force conditions with gusts higher than that here in Pensacola. You're under a tropical storm warning. Travel not recommended here. Meridian, Mississippi, expecting the heavy rain, the gusty winds, and there is a flood watch in Tupelo.
All right, thanks, Jen. We're going to have live reports from the field coming up at the top of the hour. Stick around.
Keep it here on the Weather Channel.
I got the fresh house in my hands. 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 With Fresh Step Cat Litter, when your cat steps, odors are neutralized and your house is fresher. I got the fresh house in my hands. Fresh Step and Fresh Step Plus dual action crystals controls odors and keeps your whole house fresher.
Science teacher, and last year she let us dissect a frog. Cool. I get a rabbit in my homeroom. Kids. That's so cool. I get a Chris. More recess. Go on 5.
Ready for school? Good thing Walmart's got all the coolest clothes for back to school at their always low prices. So you can get your kids off to the right start.
Hey! Oh, come on.
Katrina bears down on the Mississippi Delta. Stay with us for the latest in-depth analysis, live reports from the field, weather experts, meteorologists, and hurricane hunters telling you what's happening, why it's happening, and what's next. The Weather Channel, Hurricane Central.
The Weather Channel is brought to you by this cable or satellite provider. You can also get reliable forecasts from the Weather Channel through this radio station or newspaper.
The Weather Channel, Hurricane Central. Coming up, the latest on Katrina. But now, you're local on the 8s.
Currently in our area, 71 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Here's our local Doppler radar. today. Areas of dense morning fog. Slight chance of a thunderstorm. High 85. Winds east-southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance of rain 30%. For tonight, cloudy with showers and thunderstorms. Humid, low 73. Winds east-southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance of rain 50%. On Tuesday, rain showers in the morning with scattered thunderstorms arriving in the afternoon. Humid, high 82. Chance of rain 50%. Our week ahead. Incidents and construction impacting our area.